Watching the gate open, he thought, oh no. A thug rushed to take their seats. Xiao Kang argued, but Xiao Wen didn't want to sit there. Because he thought the later it got, the safer it would be. Xiao Kang and Xiao Wen had no choice but to head to the back. Soon the safety bar came down, and the roller coaster was ready to launch. The attendant came in front of Xiao Hei for a final check, but there was just no way to handle his side. So the attendant pushed down hard on the safety bar, and with surprising ease, the hydraulic line started leaking, while Xiao Wen picked up her camera to capture the moment. Little did she know, an attendant's hand blocked her shut, pointing toward a sign that read, "No loose items, no filming." Xiao Kang saw this and had to surrender, quietly putting his camera in his pocket. The eavesdropping thug also secretly stashed his camera away. Just as the roller coaster was about to launch, Xiao Kang accidentally touched a piece of sticky gum. He exclaimed, "Who did this? Get me away from it." Just as the roller coaster launched at the attendant's signal, everyone screamed in excitement. Meanwhile, the thug planned to secretly film the two girls ahead, as thugs often fantasize about being photographers, with everyone eagerly awaiting the excitement. However, the fear was still evident on Xiao Wen's face as the ride slowly climbed to the top. The hydraulic pipe oil leakage situation grew increasingly severe, and while everyone was indulging in the thrill of the ride, the thug revealed his true nature, and unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse. The camera accidentally fell onto the metal cabinet just as the roller coaster rushed forward. The camera was crushed with a crash, followed by the hydraulic line bursting, causing the train to jolt violently. The sense of safety on the roller coaster vanished as the speed increased and the wheels began to struggle under the pressure. Screams filled the air. Sparks flew from the wheels, and finally they shot off. The front half of the coaster split apart under the strain, flinging everyone out. Xiao Hei, struggling, clung to his seat with adrenaline power, and what a surprise it turned out to be. Ahead was a swirling track, and Xiao Hei got tossed away. Luckily, Xiao Kang caught him in midair. However, the danger was far from being over, and Xiao Hei was just launched into the sky like this. Meanwhile, it became crucial to note that the track had mysteriously broken ahead, jolting the coaster as Xiao Kang nearly flew out. Fortunately, Xiao Wen reached out to hold him tight. After some acceleration, the coaster finally stopped, but the bad news was it halted. All that remained were the couple and some passengers, all busily trying to escape gravity. They were on the verge of dropping, and in the end, they were unable to hold on any longer. Finally let go, ending it all, while Xiao Wen and Xiao Kang continued their desperate struggle. The two shifted the coaster's gravity center, and after shaking, it rolled back unexpectedly. As a result, Xiao Kang became extra small thanks to a steel pipe, completing his transformation. But in reality, everything that had happened was just a figment of Xiao Wen's dream. As they were still at the boarding station, the attendant repeating his earlier announcement, Xiao Wen panicked completely, grabbing Xiao Kang's hand, just as the pesky gum appeared again, a second before the attendant pressed the button. Xiao Wen shouted, "Can I still go back? This roller coaster is really taking off." The coaster was about to crash. What on earth was happening? The supervisor came out at the sound of the yelling, gesturing for the attendant to open. The supervisor stopped him, questioning what was going on, and Xiao Wen claimed he saw it all. "All the memories are in my head." The coaster indeed became a flying contraption. The tracks broke. No one was spared, and Xiao Hei couldn't take it anymore, claiming Xiao Wen was just spouting nonsense. He thought Xiao Wen was just trying to pull attention, and Xiao Kang got mad too, stepping up to teach this guy a lesson. They ended up tangled up, inadvertently slapping the couple nearby. Consequently, the couple jumped into the fight too, while the two friends beside them lost interest in staying and hastily left the ride. The supervisor shouted to halt the farce, sending the fighters away, while the boyfriend and the ride grew anxious. He tried to convince the attendant to unlock, but the attendant just wasn't buying it, and nobody believed Xiao Wen's warnings. Everyone continued to cheer for the launch, and the attendant reluctantly pressed the start button. Hearing the start, Xiao Wen suddenly remembered her boyfriend was still on the ride and frantically yelled for it to stop. But it was too late. The roller coaster was climbing higher. Moments later, due to Xiao Wen's actions, the supervisor was furious and kicked them out. Xiao Wen's words indeed came true, leaving everyone utterly in shock. As it turns out, the roller coaster really shot up to the sky. The next day, the school held a funeral for the deceased student. While Xiao Wen looked at her boyfriend's photo, she suddenly noticed a candle under a cup blown out by the wind, and an eerie feeling gripped her. She felt it wasn't so simple. After last night, Xiao Wen was a freak to classmates. Feeling disheartened, she wanted to leave this trouble zone, only to be stopped by her friends. They especially thanked her for what happened last night and hoped Xiao Wen would join them for some sunshine shower. Looking at her sarcastic friends, Xiao Wen felt utterly manipulated and crumbled the note in anger. Losing her boyfriend, she cried like rain, deciding to leave all this behind and start anew. Suddenly, Xiao Kang found her in the rain, bringing us shocking news. Online search revealed a similar case 6 years ago. A student died after saving 5 classmates. He died in a peculiar turn of fate, and the order of deaths matched their seating arrangement on the ride. Unless someone intervenes, death will skip them. Xiao Kang's words were from the first story, but Xiao Wen couldn't believe it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.